Three, two, one. And you got it back here on the Morning Bell on Rebel Radio. I am Mario J. Bell. He is the Pose.
As always.
Yes, he is. And today we have our great guest joining us who I'd like to introduce. First of all, I want to make sure I don't forget Tony P., our producer and booking agent. Hi, Tony.
Hello there, everybody.
And we're about to bring on, this is awesome. We've been waiting for this for a while. We're very excited to introduce the two members of the band Death Angel with us today. We have Ted Aguilar and Rob Kevstani. How are you guys?
Hi, guys.
Welcome to our broadcast.
Well, thanks.
Thanks for being here. It's great to have you guys on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
And we want to start at the beginning. You guys are kind of, a legendary band. You've been around a while. I would say you're one of the originators of the quote unquote thrash type of metal music. So how did this whole thing come about? Was there a big movement in the Bay Area where you guys are from?
I mean, kind of. We were part of the original Bay Area thrash scene in the 80s. I mean, when we very, very first started off, we didn't even hear of thrash yet. We just knew of rock, and then metal, and then probably new wave of British heavy metal, and then came Exodus and Metallica, and then we kind of shifted towards that heavier sound, being totally influenced by watching these guys at the local clubs and hanging out and just getting into the more aggressive sound.
So that might not have been the way you went the first time if you didn't see some of those big four guys, as they call them, bands.
I mean, I don't know. We were progressing our own selves just by hearing all the other styles of music that we were starting to get exposed to, including like hardcore punk and, Motorhead, stuff like that. So it wasn't really actual thrash just yet, but the entire sound was evolving because people were just trying to look to modernize it and make it faster and heavier. So I mean, it may have eventually got there anyway. I'm not really sure.
And I mean, you guys were pretty young, obviously, to start. I mean, you and Ted are Rob, you were the original guys of the band. So were you guys like 10 when you started or what? That's a while ago. What year was drumming now?
Our drummer, Andy, was 9 when we first started. Our original drummer, Andy, was 9.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Yeah. And I was, I guess, 13 when we first started the whole thing. And I mean, we basically formed our band as we were learning to play our instruments. So, we had this idea that we wanted to be in a band ever since the turning point was when we went to go see Kiss live in 1979 on the Dynasty tour. Yeah. So we went to the show. I mean, our some of our moms brought us to the show because we couldn't go there by ourselves. At that time I was, I must've been 11 years old going to that show. And so seeing that live made us realize that we needed to do that. So we then started to, we're like doing like Kiss concerts, like lip syncing and putting Kiss makeup on and stuff. And like, just trying to emulate the vibe.
Wow.
And then we were like, okay, so we need to learn how to play real instruments so that we can really do this. So we got instruments, we started playing, figuring out how to play and starting to try to write songs like while we were trying to play our instruments. So needless to say, our first compositions were quite barbaric and raw.
It's still cool.
But
the young age.
Yeah, we were pretty young.
Nice. So and then when did you first get into the scene where you were able, you're going to the clubs and you're looking at getting the following? Then would that have been? I imagine by that time you were in your late teens, I would think, right?
No, we were in our early teens still. We were sneaking into shows and getting snuck into shows by friends and hanging out in the scene and just starting to play like our first show was like at a submarine sandwich shop, and we're playing parties and stuff and like at our friends' house. And by this point we're just I'm probably like 15 or 16 years old by that point in time. And wow. Yeah, so we were definitely the youngins in the scene. Even when we started playing shows in proper clubs, a lot of the clubs we weren't old enough to be in there, and they would like, they'd let us play, but then they'd like, you guys got to just kind of hang out here. You're not allowed to, walk around or whatever. You shouldn't even be in this place. So it was kind of commonplace for us to be, we were used to that treatment.
That's pretty cool. But again, so you were influenced by the big four guys, but you weren't necessarily going that way when you first started. Then you had a different sound when you first started.
When we very first started, we had a different sound because, I mean, like I said, that we didn't even hear those bands yet. It was before those bands were breaking out. Yeah, we quickly shifted to the heavier, faster thrash. As soon as we heard it, we incorporated it into what we were trying to play. So we evolved pretty quickly into that. By the time we got to our first album,
a little bit of the old Ultraviolence.
What's that? The Ultraviolence, yes.
A little bit of the Ultraviolence of Clockwork
The
Orange.
Ultraviolence.
Yeah, referencing the movie. That was another thing I want to bring up. So you actually have a song that you were referencing the movie Clockwork Orange in, I believe. Is that correct?
Definitely. And it's funny thinking back to that time, we probably couldn't even barely understand that movie because it's pretty crazy, like, for young minds, but it was quite intriguing and exciting and violent. So
now, even
that.
40 years, 50 years later, it's still a crazy movie, but one groundbreaking style filmmaking and the storyline, and then here it influenced your song. So there you go, pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Nice.
I mean, we bit the title from that, but what we were talking about was like the Ultraviolence was representing like the end of the world, a nuclear war just flattening the entire world, and that was like the whole intense concept for us at that time.
Yeah, back then we all felt it was going to happen. I mean, the movie Red Dawn comes out. I mean, there's a lot of that going on back then.
Mm-hmm.
The day after. Remember that one from TV movie? Sometimes I feel like we might be back in that scenario sometimes here in the modern time. But anyway, so that's the initial stuff that got you going. And Tony, you were going to ask something about that too, about their tour. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask, first we'd like to obviously talk about the new EP Under Pressure that just came out in October. So we'd like to talk a little bit about that. And then any like tour stories that you guys have that stand out where you're like, this is the greatest tour that we've ever done, like some fun stories or, stuff.
Well, I mean,
I want to know the wild party stories. That's what I want to hear about,
not on the morning show, my man.
That's what I thought. I always think of the old show WKRP in Cincinnati. It was on in the late 70s, early 80s. And there's a scene there. Well, it's a band that's on this whole episode called Scum of the Earth. And they come out, they're very professional, very nicely dressed. And then when it comes to like the night of the show, they trash the room, and then on stage they're throwing stuff. And I always think about that when I think of like the thrash scene and everything. But I don't know. You guys probably didn't get that wild. Did you smash guitars or anything like that?
Guitars, no. We definitely respected our instruments, and we did not have the money to replace smashed gear. But honestly, I've never had the desire to smash a guitar. It just doesn't. I mean, it looks cool for other people, but I love my instruments. It just seems like I wouldn't really be into doing that. However, trashing everything else, yes.
Okay. Not
The venue, the dressing room, the hotel room, every other thing. We definitely had our phase of being, trying to emulate what you thought that you were supposed to emulate, and being too young to really know any better and properly respect the industry and everything that was around us. So we have matured a lot since then. So, we're quite respectful now, very respectful. We're the most respectful band in thrash.
Nice.
But there was a time where we weren't. And there's countless stories. There's just countless stories. We did all the things that one could do, roaming around at such a young age and thinking you're invincible when you're on tour. And I don't regret the fun that we had, but I do feel bad for like certain things that we trashed and like just were going crazy, just yeah, I don't know, youth gone wild.
Did you didn't have the opportunity then to hang out with some of the other bands because of the age issue then, or were you hanging out with Metallica and say Slayer and all those guys? Even open
yeah, there was a slight barrier because of the age issue. You know, we were hanging out, but we were kind of like hanging out over here a little bit, like while all these guys were doing their thing, and they're kind of mentoring us and probably thought we were, you know, cute because we were just all small and like so into it. So, you know, they're feeding us booze and partying down with us, but they're kind of like doing we're sort of off to the side a little bit with those guys. I mean, you know, Metallica and Slayer definitely. Exodus, we kind of melded with Exodus a little bit more, but still there. Back then, the age difference was like seemed bigger. You know what I mean? Like we were like nowadays we're kind of all whatever. We're all old guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, back then we were kind of, you know, they're kind of probably like, well, let's just not include Death Angel in all of this. We might get in trouble. But we were hanging. You know, we were more so in the age group and category of the crowd of the guys like in Testament, for instance. Testament, Violence, Forbidden, that wave was kind of like the second wave maybe or something like that.
Okay.
What do you think, Ted? Am I right so far?
I want to hear
Dude, you're hitting it right on the money. That's why I'm not saying nothing.
Ted spot checks my memory and
You hit it.
history.
Yeah.
You hit it.
So, but Ted, you were there. I want to clarify. You were around in the same scene, obviously.
Yeah, I was a spectator from the fan. It was great seeing the shows. You know, having a different view. It was a great time, man. It was a great time, and you know, people have asked me about it, and my answer is, it's a great time. I'm glad I lived it, but it's never going to happen again.
It's a new dawn. Well, everybody gets you know, older and wiser, as they say, right? Even in the entertainment business. I guess that for me, I've done some goofy stunts in my days for broadcasting, but you know, and maybe we'll do some again, but try to not get in trouble with the FCC at least. You know, the government's nothing. You know.
Well, when the world opens back up again and everyone gets to go back out on tour after being grounded for, you know, for right now it's been pretty much exactly a year since our last tour ended, almost to the date, and so you know the people are going to be pretty cooped up. I don't know how everyone's going to behave when we go back out on tour.
That's true. It might be a resurrection of the old days. Maybe that's a good point.
Especially if the Bay Strikes Back tour continues, which is Testament, Exodus, and Death Angel. Those were the three bands together on tour. You know,
I wanted to ask
to resume.
Okay. So before I asked you, so is that okay? So there would be plans to get back together, or what are you thinking about the three of you together?
Definitely.
Definitely.
I mean, before the lockdown, I mean, today would mark a year exactly to the date that we flew home, that we arrived home from Germany, from Europe. But, you know, talking to Chuck and all that, I mean, it's going to happen. It was supposed to continue in 2020, Eastern Europe and the United States. And, you know, this year, if the pandemic didn't happen, we would have took it to South America and Australia, Japan. But, you know, now we got to wait for the world to open up.
Right. I feel it coming. I feel it coming. I mean, the president of the U.S. was talking about once we get everything, you know, more people vaccinated, like around the holiday of the 4th, celebrate the, you know, birthday of the country, then we'll have big parties. So let's hope for that, or maybe sooner even. You know, a lot of the little clubs are going. Do you guys plan on doing little smaller venues like a Reggie's Rock House in Chicago? You know, that's not a big, huge arena, or were you just going to wait for the big events for all three of you together, all three bands?
I guess whatever comes first, you know. I'm pretty sure when things open up, I mean, I'm sure the Bay's going to happen, but I'm sure other people got other plans first. They'll probably test the waters out by doing small shows before they go out on big runs. But it's kind of hard to tell right now with the world being uncertain.
Yeah, that's a good point. You never know. That's by the way, talking to everybody. And Tony brought up, so the album, we want to reference a song we were talking about off air. You did, I guess it's a cover of Queen's song. Is that whole album going to be a lot of like instrumental stuff, or you know, just the guitars and thrashing,
or
acoustic, or what's on there? I haven't heard the whole thing yet. So
Oh, if you're talking about the EP we did last year,
Yeah,
the
last
Under Pressure EP,
The
yeah,
latest one. Yep, the
it's
latest one.
it's all acoustic. It's all acoustic. It was just something that we were able to do in the middle of the height of the pandemic, and we just wanted to express what we were feeling at that time through some kind of music that we were basically, no one was doing anything. This was before anyone was even starting to get everyone was just shut down. So yeah, it's just all acoustic. We just we covered the song Under Pressure, obviously, which was, we just love the song. It's one of our favorite songs that we've always loved, and B, it was very fitting for the what was happening at that moment of time.
Great song, by the
And
way.
then
Great.
What's that?
Awesome. It sounds awesome. Your version.
Thank you. Pretty challenging song to try to cover, but what the hell. And then there's an original song on there that we wrote right in the middle of that time, Faded Remains. And then we did a new version. We covered our own song of A Room with a View from our album Act 3.
Awesome.
And then finally we covered another song of ours called Revelation Song from our latest record, Humanicide. So we just did acoustic versions of that. Yeah, it was just kind of a spontaneous move to do. We just wanted to do. It wasn't even planned to come out as an EP. I just kind of wanted to cover the song at all with Mark, and I learned it, and I just sent him a version of it and said, "Hey, let's try to play the song." And he's like, "All right." And then pretty soon we started writing a song, and it just kind of came together. And it was kind of fun to do it that way because it's been a while since we did a project completely organically and spontaneously like that. These days you're just kind of in a schedule, and it's part of the cycle where it's time to do an album. You write this whole entire album, you do all this pre-production. It's like a long process.
Yeah.
Then the tour, and it's just kind of the whole normal thing. And so this was kind of odd, just kind of throwing it out there, and it felt refreshing, and it was something to purge in that moment of time.
Well, it came out great. That's for sure. Really, really enjoyed hearing that. I got one other last thing I want to talk about before I want to get clarification on this. My producers are telling me this, that you guys actually are in on a beer company, or you're part of a beverage company now or something. What's that about?
We have a collaboration with a local Bay Area beer company called Ale Industries out of Oakland, California. And they released 4 Death Angel beers. I think
Four
it's
Death
Death Angel. I think so. Yeah, Caster Shame, two Divine Defectors, and the recent one is Succubus.
So do we have to go on your site to order? Where can we get the beer?
Yeah, there's a page on our site where you can get the beer.
Awesome. Well, we're definitely want to do that. I wanted to get
Or
that.
you can go directly to Ale Industries.
Yeah,
Ale Industries.
They're the creators.
They have quite a nice selection of craft beers.
Yeah.
Well, we got to try the Death Angel one specifically for sure. No.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you guys, I really appreciate you guys both being on. It was great having you. It was really exciting to finally get to interview you guys, and I look forward to hearing you guys on tour coming through Chicago at some point.
There it is.
Oh, there he's got the beer. Thank you for the video. All right.
Well, this is some of the
label.
Divine Defector.
Look at the label on it. That's really
cool
rough.
label.
Nice.
I know. I still have a couple. I had to save some.
You always want to have one for memento, right? Nice.
It's good stuff.
We were just talking about where we're going to get it. So we're going to have that info. We'll talk about it on our Rebel Radio Facebook page, radio station page, and then I'll put it out on my page as well. So we'll get people buying your beer for you. So
Thank you.
And thank you guys for coming on, man. It was awesome. Thank you.
Question.
Aguilar and Rob.
Talking about
Tony was saying something. Go ahead.
Yeah, talking about seeing Kiss back in the day, and it seems like a lot of bands that saw Kiss, they formed a band, and it was a big influence. Like, what was the first record album you guys bought that you said, yes, this is what I want to do. This band is awesome, and this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Wow. I mean, there's a lot of albums.
The first record I could remember buying was For Those About to Rock.
Oh, okay. AC/DC.
Yeah. And Yeah, I mean, I loved it. It definitely made me want to rock.
Another great influence to have, of course.
Absolutely.
So,
Wait
But
a minute, I think while Ted's thinking I'm wrong with which album it was. It was AC/DC. No, it was Let There Be Rock. Excuse me.
Let There Be Rock you're talking about. Okay,
It was Let There Be Rock. It was before For Those About to Rock. What am I talking about? That was it was Let There Be Rock. The album cover. It was the album cover that got me to buy it. I was like, whoa, the hell, dude. And, that album delivered.
I mean, for me, there's so many albums, but I could kind of tell you the first album I owned. That kind of strikes a memory. I mean, I had an older brother who had albums, so I listened to his. But the first album that was mine would be Quiet Riot's Metal Health.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
We played
Talk about that all
today.
the time.
We played them today, actually. We have
Good album too. It's a good album.
Great, yeah.
We have a day on the show where we play a little bit of everything, and then we have a day where we do all thrash, and we've played Quiet Riot on those couple of shows. So good choice there. I'm with you, Ted. I love my AC/DC that Rob's talking about. I love my.
That's the
Quiet
album
Riot.
that paved the way for metal into the mainstream to actually get audiences to actually give it a second look. So.
They were one of the first ones to be on the top of the Billboard 200. I talked about that.
And to
on the
knock
show.
Michael Jackson's Thriller off the charts.
So these guys know their stuff, right? But of course they do. They're Death Angel. Hey, you guys, thanks again for coming on. This was awesome. The interviews air on Friday, and we're going to have clips of this on our website, and I'll let you guys know where you can find it as well. And again, thanks for being on. Really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Next.
Have a good day, everybody, and we'll be right back after this here on the Morning Bell.
All right. And now we're off the air, but we're still recording. So if you guys are up for it, if you wanted to do maybe take turns or like go in rounds or however you might do it.
Not together? Just
not together. Just like maybe one guy takes one line, the other guy takes the other line.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. We're like you're listening to the Morning Bell on Rebel Radio, or we say somebody can say the name of the band. This is Death Angel. You can like alternate if you want.
Exactly. And then it doesn't matter because I'm going to just cut it nice and tight. So even if you guys delay, it won't be an issue because we'll make it sound like it's rhythmic.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. What is it that we're supposed to say?
We're Death Angel. You're listening to the Morning Bell on Rebel Radio.
There we go.
All right. I'll start it off, Ted.
Yeah, go ahead, dude. Whatever you want, man.
All right, man.
I'm easy. Hey, bro. Peace. Whoa, white flag. Go ahead.
Hey, essentially, this is gonna be fine. All right.
This is Rob from Death Angel.
Oh, say our names.
Yeah. This is Rob and this is Ted. We can do it. Like, wait,
let me two separate ones if you really want to.
Yeah,
I just the idea, of
wait. He could say
having both their voices on one though.
Oh, okay. So
you know
don't
what I
say
mean?
their names or do say their names.
Hey, Rob, why don't you introduce us and I'll do the Morning Bell on Rebel Radio. Just make it easy.
There we go.
All right.
Sounds great.
All
right.
Perfect.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. I'll count you down. 3.
Hey, what? All right, ready?
Wait, I'm just counting it down real quick. 3, 2,
Okay.
1.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Rob Cavastani and Ted Aguilar from Death Angel.
And you're listening to the Morning Bell on Rebel Radio.
Nice.
Should we do a safety? Because that one was
we'll
really
do a
good.
safety, but give a little something at the end. A little something at the end, like
Rock on or
whatever,
Oh, yeah.
something like that. We're not going to tell you. It's totally up, to you guys.
We have ladies yell.
Yeah, when the girls yell, go woo or whatever. You don't have to do that though.
All right. We'll do it again. Here we go.
I'll count you down. Hold on.
All right.
You can just go after 1. 3, 2, 1.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Rob Cavastani and Ted Aguilar from Death Angel.
And you're listening to the Morning Bell on Rebel Radio.
Better than coffee.
We might have to edit out my laugh, but that was awesome.
We'll keep your laugh. Thank you
guys. It was awesome.
Right.
It was great
Thanks,
interviewing you.
guys.
Like I said, I want to see you guys when you come through. But again, we really don't know when that's going to happen. But I know that the speaking of the theater that you were at, Ted, I wanted to say it on the air and I forgot. They're actually under investigation, so you might not be able to come back to the Aragon Ballroom. It might not be the option.
And the broadcast.
Oh, Okay.
Okay.
Well, I told
You can still
everybody.
talk. We're just going to
Okay,
end the
hold on.
record.
All right, let me end this.